Hi class, so I wanted to give you an overview of the research paper and what you're going to do. So the assignment is actually on module 5.5, so you're going to have to go through some pages to look at the assignment. And then I have a few pages for you that I talk about what you need to do. So what we're going to do with the literary paper. So if you go to page 499 in your textbook, you will see how to put together a research paper. There's a whole section on it on page 499 in Writing from Your Inner Voice. So please take a look at that and read that carefully. And then I have some PowerPoint slides on how to prepare to annotate for literature. So I've got a video and I've got some PowerPoint slides, and I also explain on this page, on page 5.2, how to prepare your annotations for a research paper. And I am actually going to be taking your paper in two separate drafts, draft 1 and draft 2, and each of those drafts will be peer reviewed, and I will assign a peer review once you post your paper. So if you do not post your paper, you will not get a peer to review, and if you do not post the paper at the appropriate date, which is on the assignment, then you will not get a peer to review and you will lose points. So please read these assignments carefully. I'm going to open up draft 1 first. After we finish draft 1 and you get it peer reviewed, you're going to do draft 2 of the research paper. So you're going to turn your paper in two separate drafts, and then you're going to do the final draft. So the assignment is actually on the final draft for the research paper. And you get to choose to either choose two short stories that were written by one author and discuss the fiction elements that we went into writing the pieces. How did the author's life relate to the work? Please note you need to talk about an author from our book read this semester, and the short stories must be different than the ones I assigned. So you can pick an author that you really liked, like Kate Chopin, and find two other short stories by her and analyze those for your research paper. If you prefer poetry, you can talk about one of the poets and pick different poems by that particular poet. So you're going to analyze the works by the authors. So when I say analyze the works by the authors, I don't mean to sit and give me a biography of the authors. What I mean is for you to talk about the elements of either poetry, if you choose poetry, or elements of fiction, if you choose fiction. And so that's the research paper. So you have a choice to either do two short stories or to do poems, and you can choose. And that is all you get to do for your research paper. So you can develop one of the authors you wrote about in your class this semester and use that. So the paper has, at the final version of the paper has to be 8 to 10 pages. Your paper must be written in MLA format and have a works cited page. You must use at least 5 sources from the library website, and you must use at least 6 quotes in the paper, and you must have a strong thesis and title. So the library website is right here, and you will click on library, and you open the tab, and you could do your search. You could pick an author like Kate Chopin and do a general search like that and find everything in our database written by Kate Chopin. And you can look at her life, but I would like you to read some of the other short stories that she's written, and you can use some of the biographies of her life to incorporate into your paper, but it's actually about analyzing the short fiction. Or you could pick a poet. Maybe you want to pick Shakespeare. and you can find everything in our database about Shakespeare. You can go into particular databases as well if you click on database, and if you wanted to go, there's the Arts and Humanities database. You can go in there, and there's also the Literary Resource Center, which is down here. So literary resources, and you can click on that and pick literature and choose one of the authors from literature to do your research in the paper. Now also, if you have any questions, you could email a librarian or chat with a librarian and ask questions. If you go to the library page, like this page here, there's a red ribbon and there's Ask a Librarian. So you have a lot of choices to ask a librarian. You can email a librarian, you can talk to a librarian in person, or you can click on Chat Now, and you can text, or chat with a librarian. I don't know, it's not a text, but it's 24/7. It's not necessarily our library website. It's not necessarily our librarians at PCC. It could be any librarian all over the world. Or you can make a live consultation with a librarian in our college. So if you have any questions about any of the author's works and you're stuck to doing your research, you can definitely take advantage of asking a librarian. And that is the research paper for this semester, and that's what we're going to be doing. So if you have any questions, send me an email. Okay, bye for now.